So, hello everyone, and welcome to another podcast with my friend Anil, where we discuss about spiritual concepts in a simplified manner for all of you to understand in a more clear way. And today, basically, we are here to talk about various aspects about synchronicities. So, I also want to state that um, you know, we'll also discuss a little bit about the Ark of the Covenant. The recent session which I had done with an update has been released on our main channel. So, without much further ado, I welcome my friend Anil. So, hello Anil, welcome to the
Hi,
podcast.
Sam. Thank you. Just to let the listener, we've been delayed for this session. But Sam has not been feeling well, and I will ask everybody if they can pray and for Sam for healthy recovery. Saying that, before I start, I would just want to say again the purpose of this podcast is to raise the understanding and vibration of current human collective. I would encourage each entity to approach these topics with an open mind and heart, seeking to understand the deeper spiritual truths and only accept those thought forms that resonate with your inner heart, leaving behind those that do not resonate with it. So, as in the last session, we did talk about Ark of Covenant and biorhythms. And one of the question was, what was the current location of Ark of Covenant? And um, Sam has been able to ask that question, and the answer is revealed, which has been already, you can listen in the latest session on the main channel. But the answer is the Ark on Covenant is no longer located in Ukraine. The Astra Command and the Agarthian social memory complex have moved the Ark of Covenant to the inner earth planes and submerged it in the casing of love light water to neutralize the energy streaming from the Orion energy system by the Ark of Covenant device. So I think the positive sides has been working and helping in the uh, uh, background for us, humanity, so that this place is not, we are not manipulated by negative oriented and, work our own, without interference from the four density negative people. So today we're going to go our topic in synchronicities, and synchronicities basically, as you understood last time when we were talking about Ark of Covenant and how the Ark of Covenant device is manipulating the synchronicities of one infinite creator and uses for their own negative purposes. But the power is the same, and we can all use the same methods of synchronicities in our life in a positive way. And so as you know, we human beings are electromagnetic beings. This means that each of us has a portion of consciousness of a positive and negative charge upon our bodily complex. These positive and negative charge can be used to influence our bodily complex to create synchronous movements, which can be tapped once we are able to access intelligent infinity. The process is simple. First, take a thought, whether positive or negative, then take an emotion behind the thought. Once the emotion has been programmed inside the bodily complex, that is, in the subconscious portions of our mind, the body remembers the emotion. The subconscious portion of mind then communicates it with our spirit, which is in contact with intelligent infinity, and the synchronicities begin to rise. I mean, this you already have kind of in a way experienced what I have just said, is that sometimes you go to a new place and suddenly you smell a perfume. A memory arises with that perfume, and then you go back in time if you have experienced that, or a taste. If you taste something and it reminds you of some taste you have in the past, and that moment comes into it. It is the same thing. A smell or a taste can remind you of a certain emotion you had in the past. A similar way, once you have programmed a thought, with some association, it will remind you. So or the subconscious mind remembers it and then can use it for bringing in synchronous movements. And this is the reason why many people who, when feeling a positive emotion and their bodily complex has been programmed to that positive, find themselves receiving positive synchronicities. For example, meeting people of positive nature, finding gifts of positive nature. The similarities between the positive and the negative synchronicities are the same, as the programming can be done either in the positive or the negative. This depends on the free will of the entity. So basically, you can either program yourself for positive thought or negative. I assume everybody who are listening would like to do a positive thoughts, unless somebody's following the path of service to self or negative path, they can do the negative one. But I assuming we are all here, mostly of us, there might be some negative entities who are listening, but most of us would like to do a positive thinking. So we talked about, as you know, we talked about Ark of Covenant last time, which has been created in the same way. However, the Ark of Covenant uses the Orion energy system to create synchronicities of negative nature, thereby pulling negative situation towards it, arising out of one infinite intelligence. So the one infinite intelligence uses the power of creation of situation and of objects without any need of such a creation to occur through the means of law of space-time, since the infinite intelligence, once activated, is in contact with time-space. It bridges for the gap between time-space and space-time, thereby creating such synchronicities upon planet Earth. So I just want to make sure that you don't get into the words here. Space-time is what we are living in. So we have a space dimension of 3 space dimension and 1 time dimension, which has been acknowledged by mainstream scientists as well. And there is an analog or a spiritual word which has a time space, if you could say, and which is just inverse of the time space. So the gap between, so the things happen in time space and then they come into space, manifest itself in space time. And basically by programming this, the gap is converted and the synchronous movements from time space come to space time, which is our reality. And this starts happening. So we can all do that now. So what each entity must be conscious of type of thought forms and the emotion they are entertaining, because each emotion and thought forms creates a synchronicity. And once the body complex has been programmed, the subconscious portion of mind begins to tap into the infinite intelligence to create synchronicities of positive and negative nature. And I think this has been said in many ways, in different ways, to people to always think positive, because positive thinking brings positivity. Basically, it's creating a synchronous movements and creating, hoping you meet positive people, positive objects. And that's why we say positive. And that's why I have said before, even going before the sleep in a state of gratitude and be in a positive mind, so that even in the dreams, a negative entity does not come and contact you. They only positive entities come and contact you. So that's why they are all related in that sense. Why we need to keep a positive vibration all the time. And sometimes if you feel slightly down or some, moments and negativity, I think you should go and meet your friends who are in a positive scales and bring you up and share his energy and his positive aura for time being, to lift you up, to get you out of that muddy waters where you are prone to attacks and psychic attacks and other stuff. So a simple method, you can practice this every day in your life, and you can try this. So a simple method to tap into the positive synchronicities in your life is to use a symbol which you want to experience. For example, if you want to experience good health, then you create an image or a symbol which would signify complete health within your bodily complex. And this symbol could be represented by an image inside the mind. And once this image has been associated with the health, then you can use such an image during its meditative state, wherein you disconnect with your egoic self, um, and become pure consciousness. Focusing on such image will give it the emotion of already becoming that which it wants to be. And such symbolism will allow its bodily complex to be programmed towards a positive health situation in a manner to attract synchronicities which allow it to regain the type of emotion it has been programmed inside the bodily complex. Basically, what it means that you attach a symbol and then you program that symbol, you associate that symbol with, for example, a good health. And then during the meditative states, you focus on this symbol and program your mind to associate with this good health and a feeling of good health, the emotion. So as soon as you see this symbol, you feel the good health, like the scent reminds you of somebody. So this symbol reminds you of a good health. And once that has been programmed in your mind, and when you're in meditative state, this will pull the synchronicities of good health or positive health. For example, you will meet people who will tell you to do certain things, or naturopath to do certain things of the problems you are having, which can be healed in a natural way rather than going for allopathy or big pharma stuff which they're trying to portray on us, foster on our faces, and meet and come into contact with some information which may help you to regain positive health or disallow the negative parts which because it's not only doing the positive things, it also helps stopping the negative things we are doing. Kind of oil that we have been eating, and they're telling it's good, and then they tell us it's not good. So not only doing the positive things, but also stopping negative aspects we are doing. So it's a double whammy. So the effect will be pronounced very much. Sam, I know you're not well, but do you want to add something to it?
Just with regards to synchronicities, I think many times we also receive some type of signals from the universe, like we can see, repeated numbers or some other type of events, which may be something that you might have imagined. Okay, so I'll share you some experiences like that. Just for example, recently my pet, actually had gone missing, and what I was doing was, I channeled my higher self, and my higher self told me to imagine while I fall asleep, touching my pets and touching and feeling the skin and just doing that as I fell asleep. What happened was that my pet actually came out of nowhere, returned back within 2 days, right, of doing this. So I think what that does is it travels to, like Odin was saying in the beginning, to the higher mind, and then it somehow communicates with all mind, because I think people don't understand this, but we are all connected. Even in animals, we are all one, because they are also part of the one creator. So that I think can happen, and synchronicities in a way are a way of symbols or signals you may receive, whether your manifestation is near or not. So it may also be like that, where you imagine something and it happens. So you may be like, wow, that's amazing, right? But actually it does work like, it's amazing, so if you can connect with that energy, you can do it. So that's all I wanted to say with that. And if you have anything you can add.
Yes. Thanks, Sam. And you importantly bring about, which is the sub part of this podcast, is numerical synchronicities, and you touched upon that. So as Sam mentioned that, many a time we start seeing suddenly repeated numbers, 111, triple three, quadruple 3 8. When you look at phones, sometimes people keep looking at your phone and they always see 222. Uh, uh, 4 digits, all the same. Hour and the minute. Most of the phones generally on the phone itself, or sometimes 1010. These kind of numbers, and these have really meaning quite a lot, and that the repeated numerical patterns such as 111 as synchronicity that arises from each entity's subconscious mind reaching towards the conscious awareness. Each entity's perception is unique, shaped by their individual path, desire, and energy patterns according to the law of universe complex of similarity of vibration. What may seem an insignificant numerical pattern to many entities instead resonates deeply within each entity's mind complex, alerting each entity's conscious self to take notice of these synchronicities as symbols from deepest portion of the mind to remind each entity to be mindful, to reflect upon the resonances. Each entity feels in each moment there are opportunities to open a clearer channel between the subconscious and the conscious selves, between the instinctual beingness and the outward doing in this illusion complex. While some symbolic synchronicities such as 1111 holds broader cultural meanings for many entities, their ultimate significance is unique to each entity's evolutionary journey. Each entity to pay attention to these subjective experiences and to be alert to them for their our connection to the deeper self, providing guide rules towards fulfilling each entity's pre-incarnated desires for learning, service, and drawing near to the one infinite creator, which suggests each entity to take the opportunity presented through such synchronicities to reinforce each entity's intention and walk this incarnational path with renewed purpose. So basically, I do sometimes, as I mentioned in this, that there are, in fact, astrologically or numerologically, also meanings when you see 1111 or 333, 333, 555, 555, that angel beings are around us and they're trying to communicate, or our guides, whoever your guides, by these synchronicities are communicating through you in a symbolic way that they're around you or there's some meaning. And as I told you recently, I think a couple of weeks ago, I was reading as I said to you, Holly did send me an email saying, what is the meaning of these kind of numbers? When you see these numbers, what are they saying? And she really mentions 111, 222, 333, up till 9 numbers, and it tells the meaning of each of the one. So you can just check that out. There's a lot of material on synchronous movement. That means one of your angels is around you, trying to communicate you. They're around you. They're giving you signals. You're not alone. We're taking care of you. But you have to do the work. They don't help a victim consciousness, as I told you before. So you get to work, but the help is available when it's needed. But don't say that everything is done by them and you just sit down and what in front of TV and just eat some junk. No. Please don't do that. Don't be a victim conscious. Take things in your hand, and whenever the time is right, the help is needed, it will be provided and will come to you. So that's all for today's session. Any last words, Sam, on this to add?
No, I don't have anything to add. Just I wanted to say thank you to everyone for tuning in another episode today, and thank you Arnil for sharing your knowledge. And we will see you in next week's podcast again. Until then, stay safe and thank you all so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.